Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have a very, very funny young man, Trevor Clumpner from Appleton, Wisconsin's with me today. Trevor, how in the hell are you?
I'm doing good, Scott. How are you?
I am, well, I'm going through a rather heavy period.
Oh, like a heavy flow month? What are we
Well, I
talking
got
here?
problems.
Okay.
How are
You keep
you?
good. Hectic spring break coming back, but otherwise can't complain.
Okay. Well, let's start. You're in Appleton, Wisconsin,
Hmm.
and I've done a little research. You've opened for a lot of really big acts.
Yeah. I
Jordan
mean, I like to think
Jensen,
so.
Jordan Jensen, Jeff R. Curry, Preacher Lawson.
Hmm.
Um, how was that?
Great. I mean, I love a good credit. I love all the opportunities I can get doing stuff like that.
Right,
It's yeah, it's I mean, I got a lot of that stuff because I used to work the door at the comedy club in my town.
right.
Uh
What's it called? The Skyline Comedy
Skyline
Club.
Comedy Club. Hmm.
Right.
And so you get to meet all these headliners, you make some good
Okay.
connections, and next thing you know, you're opening for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how you and I met. Jessica Phillips was on the
Hmm.
show, and
Yeah, she.
she. You go
Yeah,
ahead.
I
I'm
was I
sorry.
was up in her neck of the woods doing some shows, and the production company put her on, and that's where her and I linked up. And it's also where I told her to get out of fucking northern Michigan and move to a better town where she can actually get some time.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. She says it's not too peoply.
Yeah, there's not a lot of opportunities up there either. I mean, you got one open mic a month. What do
Right,
how are
right,
you gonna
right,
work on anything?
right. So now I have here comedian, podcaster, event production.
Hmm.
Uh, I've also seen you play some music
Yeah, I used to be in a band back in the day.
with the No Talent Asshole.
Yep, and the sweat stains, you got to remember them.
Oh, who are they? What's the band? Dickie doing the don'ts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joe
Yeah, that
Schmo
no
and the Kettle
talent.
Kickers.
Yeah.
Jaime Heimlich in the maneuvers.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if you know this. I actually worked in the music business my whole life.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, what type of music?
I worked for BMG and then I went to RCA Records. I worked with Dave Matthews, Easy Top, Cheap Trick, Kiss, Tool.
Oh, so
Uh,
real bands, not
yeah,
not just my little
no,
shitty folk punk band.
oh, stop it, stop it. No, but let's move on because beyond the Skyline Comedy Club, there in is that in Appleton?
That's an Appleton. Mhm.
Okay, you also do Don't Tell comedy shows all over the.
Yep, wherever I can get on, I'll do a Don't
Okay,
Tell comedy. I also produce for them too in my area.
right. Okay,
Yeah, so yeah, stuff like that.
and you've been on TV, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't know if your viewers they might recognize me from America's Got Talent. Um,
Um, I,
have you seen me on there?
I don't think I have.
I'm sorry, Scott. America's Most Wanted.
Oh, they there. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
you in America's Most Wanted. Yeah, I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
you
yeah.
there. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
great
that's where
on
everyone
that.
knows
You
me.
were
Yeah, I
you
know.
were being
Me.
hauled off.
Yeah, remember
That
I
was
was getting tased in the ass.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
America's Got Talent. Hey, it takes talent to get on America's Most Wanted, for God's sakes.
Yeah, you got to be a criminal mastermind.
Well, now let's go over some numbers and let everybody know because on this when I post it probably next week or whatever,
Okay.
you're on YouTube. You have 60, Jesus Christ, speak. 66 subscribers, 55 videos up, 51,261 views. You're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Hmm.
I will
Yep.
put all those links there. And great job. Great job on what you're doing.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. You too.
Tell-
Your numbers look great. I just use my YouTube to submit clips to clubs. Like,
and here's the funniest thing. I don't want to get into it. I'm actually going to do a live show, my 105th live show on YouTube Live this Thursday, and I'm going
nice.
to talk more about it. But I've never paid all those numbers just because I think it's important for people that do this. You can actually pay and get followers or subscribers and get. I've never paid one penny for any of it.
Yeah, but you can also pay to get sex. Doesn't mean it's good. Like, what do we do? Like you're doing
That's
fine.
like hiring a prostitute and saying I didn't feel loved.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
since you went
exactly.
there, let's do. I want to do a real dirty joke because I want to see if I can make you laugh. Okay,
Okay, sure. Yeah.
what's worse than going down on your grandmother,
What's worse?
banging your head in the casket when you're coming up?
That's
Hey, I made
good.
you laugh, gosh
Yeah.
darn it! That's great. So now, and I guess the reason I brought that up is because you do a bit about sending a dick pic to a
hmm
girl. Can you tell the
Yeah.
people about that?
Yeah, I used to be on Tinder for a while.
Right.
And Tinder's weird and I finally was able to match with somebody, so you got to send them a dick pic. Kind of
That's
just
what you
what you
do.
do.
That's
Yeah.
what you do. Right.
But I used my niece's Barbie as a size comparison. Yeah. I learned really quick that you're not supposed to do that.
uh,
Because she texted me back like right away and was just
yeah.
like, "Oh, I get it. Shrimp on the Barbie."
It's from the Barbie. It looks like a dick, only smaller.
Yeah, yeah, she got me on that. And we've
Well,
been
now
together for 3 years now.
let's get serious for a second.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing comedy?
It'll be 3 years in July.
3 years in July.
hmm
And now, what I have written down here is that you grew up in a poor Midwestern town.
hmm Yep, Iola, Wisconsin.
Okay. And there was also a rumor that your dad was a Mexican.
Yeah, I grew up my entire life thinking I was Hispanic. And so, I got a DNA test done, and it turns out that I wasn't, not even remotely. Uh, and I feel like I have to issue a formal apology to the person who I was hounding my entire life for child support. Uh,
I actually, since we talked about numbers for a second, on Instagram, a couple hundred, whatever, I forget what it was. And one of my jokes went to like 300,000. I think it's somewhere around 300,000 views. And it is, I'll do it for you because
okay.
I know you want me to.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't give a shit. Um, if I had a nickel for every racist thing I ever said, some Mexican would probably rob me. I did, and I would have never thought that joke would have got as much traction as it did, Trevor.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's definitely on the line. It's pretty edgy. But I feel like anything that's kind of controversial always seems to get
Oh
a
yeah,
ticket.
yeah,
Like I
you're
have
right on point.
the joke I did that has the most views is me talking about how the church should have their own brand of condoms.
Yeah, I have that written down. I love that. That's
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead, go
like,
ahead, go ahead,
oh,
give it
okay,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
please.
I think the church should just have their own brand of condoms. You call them the Lord's protection. That's fun. On the side of the condom, you could have written, "He has risen."
Right?
Seems like a good way to get Jesus up in you.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we'd all know what it's like to have God in the room with us, because as the book of Matthew says, if just two come in my name, I will be present.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You put the gospel pole in her hole. Tell her to
yeah,
move her ass to
exactly.
save her soul.
Yeah.
You know, it uh, it's funny. I'm even hesitating to do this. That's how bad it is, Trevor. That's
Okay.
should I do it or not?
Do it. Where I mean, it's your channel.
I know, I know, but man, in other words, people are going to watch this back and say that's Trevor Clumpner.
Oh, I've been associated with worse. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
no.
it.
And before I even get into that, when you play, like you have a couple videos on Facebook where you're playing, it looks like a souped up ukulele.
It's the technical term. It's called a terrapage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an 8 string ukulele.
Okay. Yeah, it looks
hmm
because I had a guy on the show that had a ukulele back around Christmas time. But yeah, that thing sounds like Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, it sounds. I love the
It's
sound of it.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I have it right here.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Pick
I'm
it
not
up
gonna
and
play.
strum on that son of a bitch.
But I'll
Play
show it to
something.
you. Oh, it's probably not tuned. I haven't touched it since I quit
That's
doing music.
okay. Man, I
Never
love that
mind.
thing.
It is not in my case. I do not know where it is. Oh, it's right there. All right,
Go
hold
ahead
on.
and get it. Go ahead and get it. That'll be fun. Yeah, man. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, so it's got 8 string. Let's see.
Back it out a little bit. Looks like one of them's broken. Or no,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's
go
probably
ahead.
not tuned.
Can you do Feliz Navidad?
No, I don't see. I've only ever played originals. I don't know how to play anything on this thing.
We're gonna keep with that Mexican theme we got going on.
Yeah.
No, and I just find it very interesting that you, comedian, podcaster, musician, does it have a ranking as far as what is comedian number one?
Yeah, that's my
Musician?
number one passion. I was a
Is
musician
it?
for a while. When I was in my
Yeah.
band, my favorite part was always the in-between songs, just roasting the crowd,
Okay.
just kind of shooting the shit with the band.
Right.
And so I was like, maybe I'd try doing this a little bit more. And I've always been a fan of comedy since I was a little kid.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, it's done. So then I started doing comedy. My podcast, we haven't done it in a while. I'm starting a new
Okay.
one pretty soon here.
Okay.
But yeah, like I love being a stand-up. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah. A lot of people say that.
Yeah. Well,
A lot of
I think
people.
it
Go
was
ahead.
Moshe Kasher has a quote where he's like, if you can do anything else, do it. But if you can't, then here's some advice, like
Yeah. Well, do you have a favorite show? And then, of course, do you have a least favorite show?
by show, do you mean that I've performed on?
Yeah. In other words,
Okay.
hang on, just to clarify a little bit, because I've done a lot of drugs in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna eat some shit out of the air right now. Right now, I'm not getting enough oxygen. Um, most people that have been on the show talk about their first show like it was the most terrifying. One guy pissed his pants, but yet it made him want to do it more.
Hmm.
So a lot of times that's their least favorite show. Some people say, my latest show because I keep getting better. So kind of go expand on that if you can.
I'd say my favorite or my least favorite show wasn't my first one. I loved my first show. I thought it was I
Was
mean, don't
it
get me wrong, I was super nervous and everything, but it was a fun
right?
show. But I wouldn't even call it. See, I'm trying to figure if I want because I don't really have a least favorite show. I have the weirdest show I've ever
That's
done.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Which was in Upper Michigan. It was at this place that was a grow, like a marijuana grow operation
Okay.
slash RC racetrack slash paintball slash daycare. There's like little kids running around. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, there's just loose kids. That show was weird, but it was a good crowd. Oh, and then it was during think the Packers were in the playoffs.
That was, you know what? Stop there for a second if you don't
Yeah.
mind. I have that written down, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Are you a Packers fan?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Wisconsin. I kind of have to
Yeah, I was
be.
going to say, I think it's a
Yeah,
law in Wisconsin, isn't
yeah,
it?
it really is. I went
And,
away for a little
and you know
while.
what? I don't want to get because football is I love football. And Jordan Love, man, the hell with Aaron Rodgers, you got yourself a hell of a quarterback.
Oh, I mean, I don't really watch football, if I'm being honest.
It
I've heard
figures.
the name.
It
I've heard the
figures.
name.
I finally hope we had something in common. And then
Yeah.
I don't really watch it. I don't know. Who's Aaron Rodgers? Go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that was the weirdest show. But my favorite show, probably still to this day, is when I got up on Kill Tony.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I was in Texas because
Austin,
yep,
Texas,
I was in
right?
Austin
Okay.
I was literally there to meet my biological dad. Because all
No,
the
that's
stuff
not a joke. That's not a joke.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought that was
yeah.
a joke.
No, 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 no.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, so I was in Austin to meet my dad and never met him before.
Jesus,
All
now I
this
feel bad.
yeah. And
Jesus,
so
Scotty, what have you done? You
I
pissed
mean
off your
all
I
my
pissed off
jokes
my guest.
all my jokes are they're based in truth somewhere, but so
Okay.
I was there to meet him. And so while I was in town, I thought, why not try to get up on Kill Tony?
Okay.
So I was there with my girlfriend, who's also a comic,
Right. I saw
and
that.
Yep, yep. And so her name got called, which I was, we had a,
Wow.
yeah. So, and she was not even a fan of the show, but her name gets called. And if you watch the video, like when they call her name, Kate
Right.
Hermson, she starts walking out of the cage, and the camera shows my face, and I'm just like this because I'm not getting up there, But so she goes up, kills her minute, does a great job.
Right.
She's talking about herself. And then, Tony asked her why she was in Austin. She goes, well, I'm actually here with my boyfriend. He's a comic. And then Tony was like, well, you guys want to hear Kate's boyfriend? And
Oh,
so,
cool.
yep. And so then I got to go up. We talked for a while, and then he asked me why we were in Austin. And I was like, well, I'm actually here to meet my biological dad. And then that's when Tony has me call him on air.
No
Uh,
shit.
yeah, and he answered the phone too.
Is that, and I apologize. I didn't know any of this, Trevor.
Mhm.
Is this on video? Is it like on?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you which episode exactly, but the guest was Mary Lynn Rice Cub.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do it, and I'm talking. So
Let
we
me pull
call
this
him,
a
and
little
we
bit.
we set up a time to get together and meet all that stuff, and then he got COVID, and so I never to this day have met him.
COVID.
Yeah. I think. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in COVID. It's just I
No, no,
don't think.
I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm
I don't think he
mimicking
had
you.
COVID.
Okay.
But yeah, so I never got to meet him. But yeah, that show was fun. Unlocked a lot of doors for me. That's when
Wow.
it's when like stuff started really taking off for me because people started recognizing me from that. Because I also had a really good minute too.
Right.
So yeah, so
Right.
I loved that opportunity.
And I think Jessica's the first time that I heard of Kill Tony,
Oh, okay.
and I've never seen it, but I understand, and I thought, well, hell, I started this 4 years ago, your comedy minute, and she was explaining it. They have a minute, you have a minute, and
Hmm.
they decide. Does he decide, or who decides whether you're funny or not funny?
The audience.
The audience.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, and obviously them too, like because it's him, his co-host Brian Redban, and then they
Okay.
always have a guest celebrity
Okay.
on.
Okay.
And then depending on how you do, either you'll get some, roasted
Right.
really bad, or just, have some night, and he had nice things to say, and then you get like a big notebook if you do well, you get a little notebook if
Yeah.
you did
Oh,
bad.
cool.
But yeah, it was yeah, that
Well,
experience was amazing.
I apologize. I'm 61 years old,
Hmm.
so I have a can and a string here. I have, I don't really have. I have, I, I I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I'm still sitting here. To be honest with you, I have one foot in the grave and the other in a banana peel.
Well, make it long, at least through this episode, hopefully, so we can get it on out.
But yeah, yeah. I love that you're so concerned about my
Yeah.
fucking well-being, you rat prick. Hey Doc, I'm having problems making friends, you fucking cocksucker. What do you think the problem is, you son of a bitch? I'm sorry. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
fine.
I, and it's funny. Here I am being obnoxious, and you have a clean 10 minutes that you have on YouTube that you start with.
Well, I just have that on there because,
Oh no, no, no. I
yeah,
can do clean.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
like to
not
do.
like I don't like fully market myself as a clean comic, but I have like 30 minutes clean probably. I mean, I've done 30 minutes clean.
Wow.
But I prefer. I wouldn't say I'm like dirty, but like I never go above PG-13 normally anyway.
Oh, really? And
I
wow,
mean
you're
that
dealing with you're dealing with triple X here.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong, that shrimp on the Barbie joke is R
Yeah.
probably. So, I mean, and some of my favorite jokes I've ever written, you won't see them online, but are
Well,
very like
now's a good time.
yeah, like
Let's
I have
go.
this joke that I used to do after the shrimp on the Barbie bit,
Right?
where I go oh God, it's been so long since I've done this if I can
It's
remember it.
okay. It's all right.
I It's like, oh yeah. So I also got to hook up with this girl. It was pretty cool. We meet up. We go back to my place. We're making out. It's getting real hot and heavy. Uh, one of the problems was she looked a little masculine, but I was still into it. So I took off my pants, and she goes, "Oi, that's not a knife." and then whips out a massive cock and goes, "This is a knife." I still let her hit my down under though, because after all,
Oh my God.
size does determine pegging order.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
What the clean crowd that you had just left.
yeah. No,
Hey,
it's
hey, what's black and blue and doesn't like to have sex?
what's that?
The woman in my basement.
Oh well, hopefully you got her chained up real nice so that she doesn't
Yeah,
interrupt the
she's
podcast.
she's locked down there with a couple other girls. It's not a big deal. I don't mind the itching, but I hate the swelling.
Yeah.
Now stop it. Um, so beyond and again, it's a comedy show, so we want to keep it as lighthearted as possible. You also spent time in the military.
Yep. I was in the army for
Wow,
8 years total. Yeah.
8 years.
Hmm.
Do you find the comedy um well, and you said it earlier, and I'm kind of rethinking the question, but it comes a lot of truth comes from your life,
Yeah, yeah. So, part of being overseas is you got to get through it somehow. So, comedy was
right?
always kind of the deal. I was always the funny guy in my unit.
Right,
And it also kind of comes with a darker humor. I don't always showcase it on stage, but I do have some dark jokes, especially about being in the military. If I'm doing like a veteran
right.
specific crowd,
Yeah,
it's dark. It gets real dark, and but they
yeah,
love it,
yeah. No,
like
you're right.
I do this bit where I'm like, I don't usually like to tell people that I'm a veteran because they always ask me inappropriate questions like, "Have you ever killed anybody?" To which I like to answer, I don't have any confirmed kills, but did throw a lot of grenades into orphanages.
Oh God! Oh my God!
And then when people give me the, "Oh God," that's when I go, "Relax. I threw it underhand."
Oh my God! Oh, Trevor, Trevor, great stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? One of my favorite, and I don't want to talk about me, and we'll talk about you, but I met Stephen Wright, Lewis Black, Rodney Dangerfield, a lot of different comedians, and you have that deadpan approach, kind of like Stephen Wright, where I would have never expected that to come out of your mouth.
Oh yeah, I get that sometimes. People
No,
are like,
no,
"Oh,
it's
yeah."
really good because
Oh.
but I've learned that I started your comedy minute 4 years ago when I got fired for telling jokes. And I've learned in 4 years that timing, I call it syncopation because of music, and music,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
syncopation, that timing. If you're going to do a long joke, then hit them with a quick one, then another quick one, and then a longer, which I just put a joke reel last night together, and this guy said, "Oh, that's great." I said, "That's so." You know, I don't know. Are you, because I'm my own worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself like watching something and other people think it's really funny and you go,
So like man, I used to be the biggest fan of stand-up comedy. And now when I go to a show just to watch it, I have such a hard time not
yeah,
just
yeah,
critiquing every little thing I'm seeing.
yeah,
Uh I'm reading this book right now called The Artist's Way. And part of that is to go on an artist date. So like whatever your art is, make sure to actually go to something that is related to that and enjoy it.
yeah.
Having a hard time with enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, like I'll go see comics and
Well,
they're
hang
hilarious.
on,
I'm
hang on.
dying.
Can we pump
Yeah,
the brakes there for a second?
yeah.
Because you touched on something that's really, I'm living it, this has been 4 years of, and everything's chronicled. You go to YouTube from my first joke to, it's all there. And I won't take anything down because I want you to see the progression I'm making.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, it is there's a lot of ups and downs, times that you just don't know that you want to go on.
yeah, that's
At
true.
least for me. I don't know about you.
I mean, I feel like I did a show on Thursday where at a winery where it's like I do not want to go on because the crowd was rough, but they turned around for me, so it ended up being a really good show. But it was
Okay.
just watching the death happening in front of me, time after time. I was like,
I,
this,
if you haven't figured it out, I laugh at the wrong shit.
yeah,
I
no,
do.
you're fine.
I just do. I don't know why. Uh, that has cost me, in 4 years since I started doing this, I've lost most of my friends. My own brother thinks I'm, in other words, there are people that have separated themselves from me because of the shit that I say.
Okay.
You have a vile tongue, Scotty.
Oh,
They're fucking jokes.
yeah. And at your age, I'm sure, it's different.
What are you saying? I'm old? Fuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, just generationally, I'm sure people that are in your age group don't always appreciate the dirty stuff, the
I
darker
drink
stuff.
beer. I'm getting drunk. I'm going to smoke a joint as soon as we're finished.
Yeah, rip it
Got
up.
better life through chemistry.
Yeah, have a heart attack, man.
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't, hey, this hasn't been that good. It's been 61 years of hell.
Yeah. Hey, you look good though. You don't look 61.
You know what? The guy said that yesterday. I did one of these yesterday, and he said the same thing. And I took off my hat, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you look 61 now."
I was gonna shoot for 80, but sure.
Hang on, let me see if this works.
Yeah.
Let me see. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it did work properly. Okay. So I apologize, man. I'm just trying to have some fun. That's what I promised you. You also talk about Chance the Rapper gaining a lot of weight.
Oh yeah. About that conspiracy theory I've been hearing about him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
where
saw him the other night. Like when I saw you on America's Got Talent.
oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, apparently he's gained like 200 pounds and they're not
Really?
sure they're not sure if he's gonna like perform again because of it. But I know all I know is that it'll be a fat chance if he does. Yeah.
When you say he gained 200 pounds, I just haven't seen it. When I see him
Mhm.
on, what is he? No, he's on, what is it? The Voice.
Oh, is he on The Voice?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. I don't
Yeah,
need
with,
like
with Reba McEntire.
my favorite part about that joke is anytime I say it, at least one person comes up to me after and they're like, dude, I thought you were serious. Like I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too. I did
Yeah.
too. Well, just because I want to be sure that we cover everything, because I want to get to your favorite comedy minute.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that we cover everything. You have a big schedule posted, which I'll put again when I air this next week,
No, I appreciate it.
of all your dates you have coming up.
Mhm.
Is there, now's your time to tell the people anything they need to know. I tried to cover some of it.
Yeah, man. Like usually, you're gonna share my dates, so I'm not even gonna go into them.
Okay.
Trying to think if I got anything coming up. Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know when it's coming out, but I am starting a new podcast pretty soon here
Okay.
called I Could Have Died, which is just having comics on to talk about a time where they could have died. Like maybe it's like a crazy like
Yeah.
close call of death. You
Right.
almost could have died from embarrassment. Just trying to
Right.
get people on for some funny stories. Maybe they can generate some premises out of it.
Right.
I think that'd be fun. But yeah, that's the only thing like that I have going on besides just my normal shows.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny that premise may be gold because I've actually done, if you, not that you would even bother to go look at my shit, but I did a live one of these podcasts or whatever with a guy's, his podcast is called Making Fun of Dead People.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, and the minute I said to him, I said, there are people that are going to go, you're a sick asshole.
Yeah, but the people who he's making fun of aren't going to say anything.
Well, and as we talked about it, I do, like, for instance, I worked in the music business.
Hmm.
Okay. And I did a joke, what's 6 inches long and hasn't been used in 10 years?
What's that?
Whitney Houston's crack pipe.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
So like I joke about things like you that I've lived that. I worked with Whitney. I worked with Tony
Hmm.
Braxton. I've done, and I guess what we ended up talking about is at the time the guy from Friends. Who's the guy from Friends that died? Matthew,
I can't.
whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, but it was like, and it's like, what? I, I, I'd love to have some empathy for that, but yet I don't.
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with joking about dead stuff. Like, I have a joke I do around holidays, where I go, like, say Thanksgiving is coming. Oh, well, Easter's coming up.
Right.
Uh, I'll be like, hey, Easter's coming up. I'm usually excited for Easter because I get to hang out with my uncle, Big Rich. He's a fun guy. But guess we're gonna have to change his nickname to Swingin' Dick ever
Yeah,
since he hung himself.
yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
comedy gold.
And then when people are like, they pull away, I'm like, guys, he's
It's
not
comedy
here.
gold.
He doesn't care.
You are so funny.
Oh,
Hey,
thank you.
we're gonna run out of time here. We only got about 5 more minutes, and I want to spend
Okay.
a couple minutes off the air with you. Um, can you do, and I don't mean to put pressure on you, can do a couple of
Yeah.
your comedy minute, something, I've heard also guys shit his pants,
Mhm.
whatever it is, your comedy minute with Trevor Clumpner. Go, baby, you're on.
Well, is this like a bit? I don't understand what you're looking for here. Just something I think's funny, a story. Like,
Well,
I'm
you already
confused.
screwed it up, Trevor. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Now let's try the intro again.
Yeah.
No, whatever. For instance, one of my funniest moments would be I pulled my brother off the back of our truck. He was sitting on the tailgate of the trunk and he had waders on. And he asked me to pull his waders, and instead they came halfway down. And he fell his ass in the mud, and whatever, something
Okay.
that
I
when
got
you
one. I
think
got one.
back,
I got one.
listen, I don't want to put pressure on you.
Yeah.
I know. Look, I want it to be whatever you want it to be. Whatever you
Yeah. No,
just
I
you
got one.
go 5 minutes,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Okay. So I'm a big fan of hallucinogenics and
Good buddy, mushrooms.
yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And
Okay.
I had like a pound of mushrooms this one time just laying around. And I was like, oh, I've never done like a heroic dose before. So I ate probably, man, like a half an ounce of them and just decided to go out into the world. Like I just wandered around the neighborhoods in my city and I'm like peeking in people's windows and just like
Oh my
really
God.
like, yeah, it was bad. And so then I like climbed this tree in this random person's yard and I'm up in this tree. I'm really just vibing. And all of a sudden I hear like, hey, the fuck you doing in my tree? Get out of my tree. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, oh no, he's not talking to me. I'm one of the birds. And I'm just like hanging out in there.
Oh my God.
And he's yelling at me. And then I'm like, wait, I know that voice. And I look down and it's my buddy Tony. Like he had just moved like a week ago. I didn't know what was his fucking house. And so I'm like, Tony, he's like, Trevor, what the fuck are you doing in my tree? Get the fuck out of my tree. And I'm like, okay. And I get down. I tell him that I'm on mushrooms. So he
Oh
has
my
me come in the
God.
house. Yeah. I come in the
That
house
is
and
a
drink.
great story.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm telling you, I think you
Yeah.
take, as far as I've done how many of these now, I think you take the cake.
Oh, thank you.
I'm telling you, I think you won. You won by far.
Oh.
Because I'm 61, as you told that story, I woke up in my underwear one time in the side yard full of mud. I had eaten I drank a batch of tequila, and there were little worms, airplane worms.
Oh, yes, the old
And I ate
worm.
like 3 or 4 of the worms. And somehow I turned into Worm Boy overnight. And I was out in the yard. And my neighbors are like waving. And I'm in my underwear in the mud. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
not
good.
proud to tell that story, but you told yours. So
No, it's
that's what
hilarious.
inspired you telling that.
That's the stuff I think's funny is just like those truthful moments are always
Yeah.
funniest to me.
Well, first off, you ponied up about mushrooms. I have a friend who just, he walks around in mushroom shirts. He just thinks, I think even Aaron Rodgers, your old quarterback is mushrooms, and
Oh
it's
yeah, I mean
becoming
everyone is
more,
now.
it's becoming more and more in the forefront.
It's good for your brain. I still am a firm believer that you should take a dose like every couple months just to kind of
Okay.
reset.
Well, you know what? Let's just stop the recording there. I think
Okay.
what's going to happen is I'm going to catch back in with Trevor in a bit, if that's okay. In
Okay.
a couple months or whatever, we'll catch up and see how you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want to. I've already divulged too much, Trevor. You're killing me.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hey, listen, thanks for coming on the show. No, I just we're running out of time anyway. We'll do it on episode 2.
Sounds good, man. You got it.
Okay, hang out for a second. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stop the recording. Okay.
Absolutely.
Are
Sounds
you
good.
sure there's nothing else you want to tell the people?
No,
other
I
than what
mean
a shitty host I was.
you're doing it next. No one, yeah. You'll share my dates. It's all good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I think we got a minute or two.
Oh, I mean, I just this comes out next week, but this weekend I'm with Jordan Jensen all weekend at
Good.
the Skyline. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff for the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour all
Okay.
over Wisconsin. I'm in, and where am I? I'm in Louisville, Kentucky in June.
Okay.
For with Sarah Kalana. I really want people to come to that show. I want that to sell out. And that's
Good.
at
Good.
Summit City Louisville Comedy Club.
Okay. Good. Good. Well, I'm glad we got that in. Okay. And I'll
Yep.
try and get this aired beforehand and help out with tickets.
All right. Sounds good.
Again, I know all about it. Hold on a second. Let me stop the recording. Thank you so much. Man, you made my night.
Oh, thank you,
And
Scott. I
I'm
appreciate
telling you,
it.
I think you take the cake as far as your comedy minute. That was
Thank you.
up in the tree on acid, on mushrooms. That's wonderful. All right, hang tight. Thank you again. Stick around for a second.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
Cool.